So everything is good to go. Now let's. Okay, sir. Over to you.
Just give me a minute.
Yes, sir. Take it. Sir, we are going to start from chapter 3 as a revision or recap.
Yes. Now, let me start.
Okay.
Today, we are going to basically cover, the schedule was to cover chapter 6. But what we are going to do is, we are of course going to cover chapter 6, but we are going to recap. And what is going to happen is that I'm going to take chapter by chapter, and then each chapter, at the end of each chapter, Anis and Uwais are also going to revise it. We are going to finish off the basis of Open API today. That is from chapter 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let me share my book. The first thing is, just to revise, just to recap.
Sir, can you remove the side span left and right? So the viewability would be more clear.
Is that okay now?
Not yet. Actually, the left pen, yeah, it's period. And yeah, this is. And if you go to the content, so I can see that the font size is good enough to view in my screen. Yeah, I guess, yes, it's fine.
Okay, okay. Now what we have to learn is, so far, and we are revising it, that for the REST APIs, there is now a standard called Open API definitions. Basically, you use an editor to define an Open API specification. The editor, as you can see, is Swagger editor. Swagger is a set of tools, and Open API is the specification. In Swagger, you basically route down we are right now using the 3.0 specification, Open API. And for all REST APIs, what we do is basically write in Swagger the API definitions using this Swagger editor, and the specifications are called Open API. Right now we are using version 3, and in this Open API specification, you define how and document. On the right panel, you can see the documentation appears. On the left, you write in YAML, and in YAML, basically you define what are the paths, what is the name of the API, what are the paths, whether you are going to use get or post, what are the URLs, and so on, of the server. So this way, this specification can be used by humans. Humans write it. It can be used by humans to understand what the APIs are offering, as well as the machines, the software, the programs can use this specification to define the APIs. For example, you can have the mock servers defined. You can have, using this specification, and test servers, stubs, and all the rest of the stuff. As we have seen before, in GraphQL, there are two kind of approaches. One is the GraphQL specification, and the other one that is for specifically Graph API specification. And this one is for REST specifications, and this is for REST APIs, Open APIs. Now, we are using this URL, which is already deployed, a form stall, and we are going to look at the specifications. For example, if the URL, the base URL is this, version 1. This one is the base URL. And if I want to say that /reviews will give me all the reviews, it's saying it's a get method, and the parameters which you are going to pass on is the max rating. That is in query. There are two options. You can do it in query or in path. In query means that after the question mark, you are saying max rating is equal to a number, and so on. So therefore, it is a get method. Therefore, now look at this thing. We start out by saying OpenAPI 3.0. Then in the paths, there can be different paths in the REST APIs. You can say /reviews, and in the get, look at the tab. You can have any tabs, maybe 2 spaces, 4 spaces, but just use it consistently. So in the reviews, paths are multiple. The first one is reviews, and it is a get method. It gives you a bunch of reviews. The parameters is max rating. It gives you a decision. It is in the query. And by query, you mean, as I mentioned earlier, that after the question mark will be the query. We have already covered this. For example, if I say www.zia.com/reviews. Therefore, if I say question mark, max query is equal to 5. Sorry, max rating is equal to 5. This has been specified by what? Let's go back. That this parameter is in query. So therefore, this max rating is in query, which is after the question mark. Then we basically refreshed YAML. In YAML, just to revise, you have a variable and it's a value, just like JSON. It can have a Boolean value. It can have a string value. You don't have to put quotation marks in it. It can be object. As you can see, we say some object colon, and then we give it the properties, key value pairs. And for list, you start with a dash, and so on. So therefore, this is the revision of YAML in a very brief way. Let's go forward. You can convert YAML in JSON, but humans have difficulty in writing JSONs. Tools can do it. You will have to put quotation mark and so on. So therefore, YAML is more user-friendly. Actually, to be honest, I find JSON more user-friendly because I've been doing it all along. But it's okay. Most people think YAML is the more user-friendly to write. Now, in the responses, you say get. This is the request. Reviews, this was the path. And these are the responses. Of course, 200 is okay. In case of okay, what will we get? We'll cover it later. So now look at this thing. This is a complete, not a complete because we are not defining the responses here. Listing in 3.7, you say reviews, get, parameters, and responses. This is a complete request. We have covered chapter 3. Anish, would you like to revise this up to what we have covered so far, and Ovaz, or any of you? or any of the students? Anybody?
Yeah, Sarani's, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm there.
Well-
I just mute my mic.
Oh,
But anyway, I'm here. So the chapter is, for my point of view, is very easy. There is a URI or URL, which is a website name, we can say, and then there is a slash, and after the slash, there is the endpoints. So if we are going to specify the API, we provide the details, and the for details we are using YAML. And the YAMLs, when we are using a YAML file, writing a YAML file might be some issue because there's a need of lot of indentation and lot of special things. But reading, it's very easy. For example, just by reviewing the listing 3.7 reviews, I can easily see that when I will use the website name, and after the website name, I will use /reviews. So what would happen? The happen is that there would be the get, it will provide me the description, and there would be a parameter. The parameter would, the name would be a max rating, and its details is already written over here. That the filter the review by the maximum rating in query, and what I'll do the maximum rating equal to a certain number. For example, if I'll say 5, so the reviews filter by the maximum rating of 5. And with every parameters or every information, there is a special tag which is called description, which also provide information about the tag or the endpoint itself. For example, for the get, it's already written in this YAML that there is a description or a bunch of get the bunch of code, and regarding the parameter, again the description is written, the filter the review by the maximum rating, and the schema number, and even after, for the 200 the description has been written the bunch of reviews. Response would be 200. The successful response should be the HTML 200 message. If I could remember that there's a different type of numbers we get when we will get response from a URL, which is, I guess, which is I couldn't remember correctly by that. This is called a status code. So if there is a status code 200, it means the data we will get are successfully able to use, or we are successfully able to get the data. Otherwise, for example, if 404, it means we could not find the URL. That's it. So in my point of view, what I could understand this, I have already mentioned. Now it's over to Awais or Sarzia, but they want to add something.
I think we'll use Awais in the next chapter.
Okay, fine.
And let's see. In chapter number 4, they mentioned editor.swagger.io, which I've already shown. And basically, the editor generates the YAML. And they introduced the Swagger editor, which we have already shown. And we start off, as I mentioned, with OpenAPI 3.0.0. Right now, the Swagger editor supports 3.0.3 also. The latest one is 3.1.0, which is not yet supported by the editor. But there are very minor differences. The main version is 3. So therefore, this is OpenAPI 3.0. Then you give the title of the API and the version of the API. So this is a minimal OpenAPI specification, which is saying, giving the OpenAPI version number of OpenAPI info, the version number of the title of the API, and paths, we have put a empty object. This is the minimum. Let's say it's a hello world of OpenAPI definition. Now we go forward. And let's see. Now look at this thing. Pass, the first one is /reviews, and it says it will be a get method. And the description, as I already mentioned, the parameters is max rating and the response is 200. Now this is a complete OpenAPI specification with one path. You can use Swagger editor to basically test it. The API, we are not doing it right now because we have already, because you just put a server URL also in it. So this is going to be the base URL for this website or the API. And before the path, you can execute in Swagger editor and so on. We have covered chapter 4 also. Basically, we are recapping. We have already covered these chapters. Now, let's go over the responses. The first thing you notice in a response, we have not covered response till now, is that the status code is 200, which means it is okay. The human description, you write human, then you say content. In this case, it is application JSON in JSON format, and you use JSON schema language to define the response, which is going to have. It will going to be a type object with these properties. Let's see this. The first thing you notice is the status code, which is 200. Then description and the media type, which will be JSON, and so on. Now look at this thing. This is, we have already covered in the previous chapter. Now look at this path. First thing, paths /reviews, get response, which is 200. We have already covered. This is a status code. Content is media type, is application.json. Schema is type array. And then we have items, and each item is of type object with property of first property is going to be UUID of type string. Then it is going to be a message of type string, then rating of type integer with the maximum value of 1, minimum value of 1, maximum value of 5, and the user ID with the type string with this pattern, and none, it can be nullable, that it has no user ID, which is true. So therefore, this is a complete response. Up to now, we have been looking at the request, and it comes inside the paths, inside the get, and so on. The thing you notice is that we, in order to define the request, sorry, the response object, you use JSON schema, which is a standard. We are using JSON schema version 4. And for example, if we say this is the object, JSON object, as you already know, in JSON, objects, you have a name and the value. How do you write it? You say type is equal to object, properties is equal to rating, with type integer, maximum value 1, minimum value 1, maximum 5. So this thing in JSON, you write, define it in this JSON schema. But looking at this thing, you can easily understand that this can be one of the answers. The response is valid or not depends on the schema. You validate JSON against the schema. For example, this is a valid schema. This is invalid. This is also valid because rating was not required. It is an empty object. We have already covered the minimum and maximum value. It can be number or integer. Number, of course, will have decimals, and integer will not have decimals in front of them. Therefore, what we have learned is YAML overall to define the APIs and JSON schema to define the. We were covering status codes. We have only covered 200, which is okay. But there can be other status codes. For example, 404 is not found. If it's not security allowed, 403 moved. If the server has moved, the response status code is equal to 3001 and so on. Media types, we were saying application.json, but there can be other types. Text.html. Because we were responding in JSON, therefore it was application/JSON. Wes, would you like to cover this? Just revise a bit. Response.
Okay, so, sure, sir. Actually, what does the picture saying to us is that we have studied that we can also design our responses using the Open API definition. So as like that in that picture, what we are going to do is we have defined that we have a response which code is 200. So after that, if we get a response of 200, what we want to do? We want a description which tell that what this response is doing. And then we are defining that what content we want and what in what format we want that content in the response. So it is application/JSON format. And what we are going to do is using the schema, which has the type of array. And in that array, we have some item which have objects. And after in that object, we have some properties which we are giving from which our response is giving to us. And in that properties, we have some message, UID, user ID, and rating. So basically, we are defining that in the status code of 200, what kind of data we want. So this is actually we are designing our pattern for the response purpose.
Yes, exactly. Now let's move forward. Just showing you the exact YAML for the response. So therefore, let's revise this as this is the complete what we have covered so far of full definition of get reviews so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, sure.
Please
sure.
go ahead.
Yeah, actually, in the previous chapter, we have seen that what is the Open API definition and why we need those definition. Because if you develop the RESTful APIs, you cannot share with other developer, and other developer do not know that what does this API really do. So for that, we have introduced with the Open API. What Open API do is it will design your RESTful API using the Swagger editor, in which you can use the YAML to design your API, and in that YAML you can tell the user that what this API exactly gonna do and what it will respond you back. So by defining those definition, we have seen that to define that definition, we are using the YAML format. And in that YAML format, if I start with the line number 1, where we are defining the Open API version. So first of all, whenever you start the YAML, you have to define the Open API version. It is necessary for that. After that, you want to do information that what is the title of that API, what is the name of that API. Because after creating the YAML file in the Swagger editor, you have seen in the previous pictures and the chapters that when you are creating the YAML, you can see the UI format of that on the right section of the Swagger editor. So that's why we have to, because it should be readable. on the UI format. So after that, we provide the info. In the info, we have a title and version. Then we want the path. And in the path, we are describing that in the slash reviews. In the slash review, the endpoint, what method we want to call. So we want to call a get method. Okay, then after that, what will should be the definition or the description for that get method? So get a list of a review. So it's just because we are defining those description is not necessary, but for the understanding and for the user understandable better experience, we are defining that what does this method will do. So that's why we are giving the description. After that description, we are providing that the what parameter should the data will be get. So we want to get a name and which is in the query, and the schema type should be the number. After describing the get method, we are designing our response method. In the response method, we are defining that if there is everything okay, there is a status code of 200, that means the API respond get successfully. Then what we want and what format we want to show the data to the user. So if the status code is 200, we want that status code 200 respond. The description should be a bunch of reviews. And then there should be a content of an application.json, as we have seen in the media types that we want, and the content in the application dot slash JSON format. After that, there is a schema of array. The type has an array, and in that type there is an object. As you guys know that the array has an object. So in the object we have some properties. So we have a properties of the rating, message, UID, and user ID, and every rating has their type and their range, minimum and maximum. The message is have a type of string, UID has the type of string and the pattern of the rejects it, and the user ID also have a type and pattern and nullable too. Basically, why we need this, because in the when we get the response from the API, we should know that what format we are getting those response and what data type they are using. If we do not do this and we run it and integrate it with our system with the wrong data type, we will get an error, right? So we are describing it right here. So the developer should know that what we are going exactly what data type we are getting back from the open API definition. That's it.
Oh, yes, exactly. Now let's move forward. Now we are going to start covering the new chapter. This is going to be our last chapter for today's class. Now, what we want to do is basically we want to add reviews. Now look at this thing. Previously we had slash reviews, but we said get. Now we are saying was post. So therefore, in get, you do not send a request body. In post, you send a request body. In the post reviews, let's look at this thing. In reviews, up to now we covered get. Now we are going to cover the post. This was the path. This is the REST method get. Now this is the REST method post. And look and see, in get, we did not have any request body. Here we have a request body, and we use exactly the same thing. JSON schema to define the request also. So look at this thing. It has content just like in the response previously. Application JSON. In schema, we have type object with properties, message, type string, and ratings type from 1 to 5. And in the response, it will not only send us the message and the rating, but also the user ID and the UID of the rating. This is the post method of a REST. And we will also use another path, which is slash reviews, which and review ID, so that whatever we have posted or added reviews, we can see if it is there with the review ID. We will use this UUID to check whether the review has been in the stored or not. And as you can see in reviews, you also get the get method. And now look at this thing. Previously we were used in query. Now they're saying it is in path. And look at this thing. This is in path. So we are going to say www. This was in review, in query. But in path, what are you going to say? Slash review ID. And then you will, when you enter it, this is in path. In query, if you want to do the same thing, you will say review ID is equal to 5675 something. This is in path. So therefore, that's the difference between in query and in path. And the response, as you can see, is like this in application JSON. So therefore, to define the request body, you also use the JSON schema, and your response in the response body, you also use the JSON schema with the same syntax. Anish, would you like to review this or Uwais?
Yeah, if
Let me recap this thing. Just to remind everyone that this is the way that actually the part of the Open API specification. This is how Open API says us that how we can design our YAML file. This is a standard way. It means that everyone, for example, if I'm using, I have designed an application and exposing my API with everyone, I will follow the same principle and same rules and same guideline. Otherwise, it won't be part of the Open API. My API would be available, but its specification or its design won't be as per the Open API specification. Same goes to other people. For example, if Awais is going to develop an application or Sarzia is going to develop an application, they have to follow the same rule regulations. For example, there must be a tag which is servers, and the servers tag would tell us what would be the URL for the HTTPS, what would be the path, and under the path there would be name of the path which tell us that what we are going to be doing under this review section. And in the review section, everything is clearly written. For example, there is a request body, because this time we are not using the get request, we are going to a post request. In the post request, we provide a set of details, and that details are processed at the server. And when the server processes each and every detail in form of JSON, it will return a response. So in the post, there is a request body which contains the content, schema, and different sort of properties, and every details, as well as the response. So this is from my point of view, this is a good example that how we should create a YAML file, or how we should create not only a YAML file, we should create the API, our API endpoint for the post method. And this also does not provide the specification, but also decide that what would, for example, in the property we should in the JSON body we should have a schema. In the schema there should be a property, and properties, the one property should be message, rating, and this type of things. So how we will describe that our API post method, this type of things. So for me, actually, what I understand, I have stated here. Now, Awais could put something else if he needed.
What's the difference between get and post?
Sir, can I tell?
Yes, Oves.
Yeah, sure.
Sir, basically, in get method, as the name name says that we are getting something. But in post method, we can also put or we can say we can also send some information to the server in more secure way. Like in get, we do it by pathway, meaning that that you showed. In path or in query way. So hacker can easily what you can say that put queries or what we called it SQL engine, SQL injection with get. But if we are sending data in post, it is in post request, it is with request body, so it is more secure.
Okay. Basically, the thing is, Oves, please.
Actually, the point is that because we are defining this for the RESTful APIs, right? So defining the RESTful APIs, we have some HTTP method for that. So we are using those method and defining those method in our definition. So as we have just seen that what the get method is doing, if you want to fetch anything from the database and from the API, you use the get method. And if you want to post anything or you want to insert anything to the API, you use the post method for that because it is the HTTP method for that. So this is the standard for that. So that's why we are using get for getting our data and post for the posting and our data. And as you guys seen that the post method and the response structure is almost same, because when we are getting something, we want to tell our definition that in which structure we want our data. It's just goes same to the post method. In the post method, we are doing the same, that we are defining that in our request body. There is a difference between that, and because in the post we are requesting a body, with that we are attaching a body with our post method. So in our request body, we are defining that the content should be the as same like a response, like the application.json, and there is a schema, there is a properties. So that's why we use post and get method.
Yes, exactly. So therefore, we use in the request body. In case of post, we define it by JSON schema, and response also we define in the JSON the what is the structure by define the JSON schema. And this one is also a get, in which the example is the query parameter is in the path, not in the query. Now look at this thing. This thing is basically revising the whole thing again. Look at this thing. This is in schema format, JSON schema format. It is saying it's a type object with properties, message of type string, rating of type integer, minimum 1, maximum 5, user ID in string, and so on. So therefore, this is again, therefore we have covered up to now 3 kind of requests. Just going back. One was the path was reviews. We had get and we had post, and we had another path called /reviews /review ID, and that was get. So therefore, this one was the first request with path reviews. This was the second request with path /reviews as a post method. And this one is reviews /review ID, and it was a get method.
So by that, sir, we understand that if we can use the get method, and we can also define our post method, we can also define our other methods like the patch, delete, and put method, which REST HTTP methods give
Yes.
us.
Yes, exactly.
Great.
So therefore, it shows us the request body with the schema and the response body with the schema. It's perfect. Then when you can use a Swagger editor to basically make these requests, get response, do practice, and so on.
Sir, one thing, just because of this discussion, I'm a bit confused regarding
Uh-huh.
that where should we use get and where should we use post.
Post.
I think that when we need to provide message information to the server in form of JSON or key value pair type of things, we should use post. And otherwise, if there's a simple thing, for example, only one parameter we are going to provide, we can use get. But I want your
Exactly.
opinion regarding that.
No,
Yes,
actually,
exactly.
sir, in that you can see you can say that, for example, in the previous session where when we are doing the SQL, then we have seen that if we want to fetch anything, we use the select for that, and if we want to insert anything, and we use the insert keyword for that. So it's just goes same like that. If you get anything from the API, you will use the get method. And if you want to insert anything to the API, you will use the post method. And there is a no method in the GraphQL. So we will just stay with the get on that
Okay,
side.
fine, Avais, but my point of view is that sometime I have seen that, for example, take about, for example, Microsoft Translation API. I've used that in one of my projects. So it used the post option only, where I have to provide my source data in the form of JSON object. So, so I think that there should be some reason other than that we are getting something.
Yes,
What do you say
basically,
about it?
I didn't, to be honest, I didn't understand the question. The main reason is,
My question is that in what scenario or in what options we have that we should use the post method for getting something or get method for getting something.
basically,
This is
as you can
my
see, now this is, for example, in this case, let's see, we are getting /review ID. We want to fetch a single review. And we just have to give, as you have already specified, review ID. So therefore, I'll need a get method because I don't need details in the request. And in the response, I get the entire object. But if I wanted to add a review, I will have to use a post method because I need to send JSON in the request body, as exactly as you mentioned. Therefore, you were totally correct what you had said previously. Wes, would you like to finish this today's class?
Sir, this is like the throw catch method.
Bilal, what do you say? What's the question?
Sir, basically you are trying to say that this is basically get and post. Can we imagine that this is the throw and catch method?
No. Throw and catch method is different thing. This is different thing. You cannot compare.
Basically we are throw a message to the server and catch the response.
Yes.
Is
Now
get
look at
and
this.
post.
Now look at this. To get an overview of what Anis is asking and what Bilal you are saying. Look at this thing. This thing 6.3. This is summary. They have not, because otherwise there's too much data. They have basically hidden the details. If I say path is equal to /reviews, this get will get you all the list of reviews. This post will let you add a single review.
Sir, please clear, sir. Sir, when we try to post, we are adding a new comment or fetching a single comment?
We are adding a single new comment.
Thank you, sir.
Therefore, /reviews get Anish basically gets you an array of reviews, and post lets you add a single review. And then I want to check if that review has been added. Then I say /reviews/review ID, and I get it. And therefore what I do is basically verify that what I posted here has actually been updated. So therefore, let me revise again. If I want to get all the reviews in a particular range, I'll use one and use the get method. If I want to get a specific review, I will also use get, but then I have to in path, you have to give the review ID. And if I want to add reviews, I'll use this post method. So therefore, I hope everybody gets it. Any questions? In the next class, we are going to cover chapter 7. But in today's class, we have basically covered all the basics of Open API specification. We've defined 3 requests. We defined 2 paths. And basically, 3 requests were there. These were the first 2. This one was the third one. And basically had 2 paths. Any question?
Sir, when we
Anish,
are defining,
Yes,
sir,
Bilal.
when we are defining an endpoint of an API, sir, expect the get and post methods, all things remain same, sir?
No, of course. It depends on your API. There can be many gets and many posts and so on.
Sir, but other things remains same in all of the YAML file.
Yes, more or less.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Whereas, or Anish, would you like to add anything before we close our class?
I
Yeah.
don't think so, sir. Things are very easy today, unlike other classes, because I have spent a lot of time on API designing. So now things are very easy to comprehend and easy to follow.
Yes, Wes?
Yeah, actually, up till now, what we have just seen that how to define our Open API definition using the YAML file. And we have seen in the previous chapter that after defining our YAML file, how to test that file in the Swagger. And we get deep into the more methods that what we can do with the get method, and in the response, how we can define those responses in the detail. And we also study that if we want to insert any data, so how we can do that. So using post method under the request body, we have seen that what structure and what procedure we should follow. So up till now, we have just seen that we have learned that how to design our open API definition, how to test that definition, and how to design our responses under that definition.
Exactly. Any other questions? Okay, thank you, everyone. See you in the next class, and we'll cover the next chapters. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Allah Hafiz.